there's another really important topic that I wanted to cover, which is again definitely I'm quite passionate about, which is life after death. And you guys have probably already seen some of the videos which I've done with Anne and with Andrew about life after death. So I just want to touch briefly on it. We've gone into detail on it before, but this is definitely something that's been coming up more, and especially this year with so many, you know, with everything that happened and so many losses. I know a lot of people are questioning themselves of, you know, what's happening, what happens to our loved ones after death. So I think for me, I definitely see this as a positive thing, because I think now people are starting to understand that, you know, we are spirits and that we do continue to live on after our physical body dies. And I know you do a lot of this work. So how do you see it from your perspective? Do you see a lot more people now starting to become more at home with the idea that, you know,
yeah, I mean, it's funny because obviously, I think, obviously, because of my experience of me, my own personal experience, that I can only speak for myself, of me having those out of body experiences and dying 3 times. Yes, I'm still here. Sorry, I'm not ready to go yet. And I know through those experiences that I was supposed to experience that, so I could really connect and feel for the clients that I have. And especially over this last year, I mean, I've been seeing up to 7 clients a day, 7 days a week, because they've had, you know, loved ones who've passed over on the other side. Now, I had a particular person the other day where, you know, spirit-wise, your soul decides when it wants to come back and communicate with me in a sense. So I might have someone who might have just, I mean, I did literally have someone who passed over in the morning, and then by the afternoon, they'd actually, the family member had contacted me. That was a super fast one. And then I've had some who don't want to come through, or for whatever reason. But with the heart chakra and the heart area and really, I agree with you, Andrew, in that sense of really being true to yourself. I mean, for me, I've had experiences happening even recently for myself. I mean, I've been doing this quite some time, but even my skill levels, even lots of other things have been happening for me. And especially from the heart center at the moment with, you know, family members, you know, their family members who might pass through COVID, they're coming to me as a medium, and I'm actually I'm a physical medium, and I allow spirit to sit within, you know, my vessel. I'm one of those clairvoyants, not, you know, the medium's not with them behind me, but they actually come in, so I can feel what's happened. And so I'm feeling it more now with the love, really feeling it through the heart center of, you know, of them loving their loved one that sits in front of me, and I'm giving them the information. But for me, obviously, my spiritual journey for me at the moment is actually, it's really resonating with it within my own heart. It's sort of stretching me even more now, which is brilliant. But it's, you know, you try to separate yourself to some degree, as it's their information, not yours. But I'm feeling that there's a residue that's been left afterwards, which is helping me on my journey, which I totally understand. But the time concept, it's, you know, from my own near-death experience and popping out of my body, of, you know, asking the questions when I got knocked down by the car, asking the question about what was going to happen to my children at that time. That's like over 20 years ago. And before I could even finish my sentence, they came straight in with the answer, you know, having the angels around me and everything. And it was just like, it taught me that there is no such thing as time. It's a human concept, you know? So, you know, through my experiences and talking to people and seeing my clients, it blows me away. Do you know what? For me, finding my purpose and my mission and why I'm here, you know, not to be so woo-woo, but it's just like, yeah, thank God I'm still here, you know, because, you know, saying Sylvia and her, and I'm sure all of us, when you go through your own life experiences, you know, in one of my things, thank you, Michael, you know, I said I was suicidal when I was a teenager because I couldn't connect to people. So this is for me why I feel passionate, why we have these sort of things that come on, because there's somebody there that will be hearing this, will need to hear this, and to know that there are other people that, you know, have discovered this journey, whereas they're just on the verge of discovering it. So through the work that I do, you know, I'm blabbering on now, but, you know, I think whatever.
You made the best point though, because I think it's the fact that people don't have those experiences, that they don't know what's afterlife. So it's, you know, they're afraid, and it's just, again, are you still afraid of the dark? It's the fear of the unknown, you know, because we're all multidimensional beings. So, you know, even in that sense that if this is, you came here for your life, your experience, and then everyone else is, you know, a player to help you, a reflection of you and this and that, well then, you know, the reality is that, so who am I to you and who are you to me? Well, we're all just reflections of just us. So we're all multidimensional and we're all in each other's lives, every one of them, all the time, constantly. And, you know, with like, it's because like when people talk about bifurcation, you know, with I was, you know, channeling one time, they were just saying how, you know, if people are going to go down, some people are going to go up, let's say vibrationally. Well, the people that go up are going to experience the down people going away. And then the people that go down are going to experience the people going up as going away. Whatever that means, however that happens, you know, we'll see, you know, as it goes. But we're multidimensional. And the more you connect with that multidimensionality, I think that's the safest, the best thing people could probably do. We just got to give them examples of like how, like deja vu or something. Start there.
No, I mean, you're totally right. I mean, it was funny. I had, you know, I do trance now, galactic stuff as well. And there was something that I was in the garden preparing myself. I was under my apple tree in my garden. I was really grounding myself and stuff. My daughter, I mean, she's 26. She was like watering the garden. And it was like, the water droplets are picked up on a rainbow. And then also I was instructed that they wanted to feel the wet grass. And I was like, what? But it's because we're physical, because I'm physical, they can pick up my senses, and they were loving it. And I started my, you know, I came into this room and it was the Thursday night and I was channeling and also went into trance. And I was saying that they wanted to feel the presence of the grass because, you know, where they were, they might not have felt it. And also the essence of a loved one that comes through, it's just that essence, the particles that come through and grabbing hold of their personality and passing that on. You know, when I passed over and popped out of my body, it wasn't fearful. You know, it was that beautiful white light, you know, like everyone says, and it was that experience. And then when I popped back in, it was that water chute that's, you know, coming down that sliding straight back in and feeling the pain. But where I was and being shown so much beautiful things, it was just like, oh my God, it was amazing. And so I don't, as you can tell, I've been out of my body 3 times or maybe even more than that. I don't fear death now. And I think that's the biggest thing, not to fear it.
And that's
because it's nothing to fear.
And that's the whole point, isn't it? It's like it's realizing that we don't have to be so scared, because I interviewed a lot of people. For example, I interviewed a lady who is a soul midwife, and she was saying there's so many people who are so scared of dying. They're paralyzed. They're literally paralyzed by this fear of death. And I hate it, because I had my loved one who was dying and who was like terrified, and I had no clue what to say, because we're not even, no one teaches us this stuff, you know, at school or anywhere else. So what are you supposed to say to your loved one who's dying and who's terrified of what's going to happen to them? And I think, and I'm getting emotional now, but it's just, you have to, because people are suffering so much. And, you know, also seeing me standing there and seeing my loved one who's so scared, like, what the hell? Like, I can't believe that people actually allow this to happen. And, you know, the people who are the naysayers and who say, oh no, science doesn't prove this. I mean, what the hell? Seriously, it's like there's so much science now that's proving that life after death exists, and there were spiritual, like, humans, you know. So it's just, we have to get rid of that fear. It's just so traumatizing for people. And
we have a mentality that it just goes down and we don't go up. We have a mentality, we just get old, we just disintegrate, we just, so I don't want to do any of those things, you know. So it's like, and I'm thinking of like the samurai, you know, being resolved, you know, they become retainers and they're already know they're going to die. Their whole life is for their master. So it's that resolve, but you don't, it's not like oh well, we come here, we're just going to die, you know. It's
But that's why it's so important, isn't it? We're doing this, of all of us coming together about our soul spiritual journeys, what we've been on, what we've gone through as a human being, and plus what we're learning and what we're here to help other people. I think it's lifting off the dark, heavy hood over ourselves and making it accessible to everyone. That's the thing. The amount of people having fear that come to me. And when I say, you know, today I was working and a client and her father, he came through and she said, but he was Muslim, he believed this, believed that. Well, I'm saying, well, this is what he said. Let me show you what he's telling me. And because I could then show her the evidence of what he said, she's like, oh my God, only he would say it that way. Only he. And I'm like, well, he still lives because the soul is still there. You know, our vessel is a vehicle like a car. You know, the driver is the soul. It's popped out. It doesn't mean it's gone forever. But, you know, I just love it.
It's a radio station.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. The frequency. Yeah. Turn it into the right one and then you're okay.